Welcome to the channel. This is Steve, and on this channel I do a whole bunch of crazy old computer stuff. I mess around with old 486 PCs or even older. I have built computers from scratch. I repair all of this Commodore stuff that is over my shoulders. I built Commodore machines from scratch. I like to assemble and fix and tinker and play with things, and this month is DOS-cember. So if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. This video is going to be all about FreeDOS. I have never used FreeDOS before. Confessions of a sinner. I've never used FreeDOS before, and I just want to play with it and see what it's all about. I have a couple of videos on the channel already about exploring older versions of DOS. I started with DOS version 1.2.5, and I've just been working my way through them. So we will keep on playing with the new versions of DOS as they keep on making them. But this one is about FreeDOS. You can find FreeDOS at the website that is linked in the description down below, and I'm going to use VirtualBox to play with this on my MacBook Pro, but there isn't any reason why I would suspect this wouldn't work on real hardware, and we might try it on real hardware someday, but for now, I just want to play around and explore. So I'm going to go into VirtualBox, I'm going to do New, and I'm going to call this FreeDOS, because I'm extremely creative, and VirtualBox has recognized that the operating system I want to install is some version of DOS. Even though it doesn't seem to natively support it, it obviously does support it, otherwise it wouldn't be there. JRocket VE, might have to try that some future video. All right, so FreeDOS, we're going to continue with that. I'm going to give this a whopping 32 megabytes of RAM. That would have been a screaming amount of RAM in the 80s or 90s. And by today's standards, 32 megs is absolutely nothing. You're probably looking at 1,000 megs for a Raspberry Pi. Up to 8,000 megs is the current Raspberry Pi 4 largest amount of memory. And then my MacBook that I'm working on has got 16 gigabytes of RAM, or 16,000 megabytes of RAM. So just to kind of put things in perspective, I'm going to create a virtual hard disk. I'm going to use the VirtualBox disk image because I don't care. I'm going to make it dynamically allocated so it doesn't consume all of my hard disk space. And I'm going to make this 8 gigs, 8192 megabytes, which would be 8 gigs. DOS had a 512 megabyte limit, and then there is a 4 gigabyte limit, depending on which one of the two different limits you're running up against. So I'm trying 8 gigs just to see where we land on those limits with FreeDOS, see if we can break some stuff. All right, so we are almost ready to start. I've got an empty container here. And what I need to do is I need to have something to boot off of, because I've got the floppy drive with no floppy disk in it, and I've got the hard disk with nothing on it. You saw me create it. And I've got the CD-ROM drive. So let's do CD, and let's choose the FD Live, and it is attached to the machine. And you saw it was 400 megabytes. So right there, 393.95. So there's already quite a lot of stuff on this CD. Let's start her up. And you saw me pick the disk. I don't know why it didn't like the disk that was there. Let's pick it a second time. Start. And while that's going, let's resize this to some visually able to see it size. All right, so there is the first screen that pops up when you boot the CD. And so what we have is use FreeDOS 1.3 in a live environment mode. Nope, we're going to go for broke. Install it to the hard disk. And I can't boot from the system hard disk because it's empty. And I can't boot from the diskette because there isn't one. So we'll do the install. This looks very Linux-like. Oh, that's cool. So when you change languages, it actually changes the language of the installer right then, right there. It looks like it's got support for special characters. You can see the French starts with a English letter there. The French starts with a non-English letter. That's what I meant, a Greek letter, I think. But I don't know many other languages besides English, so don't quote me on that. So my preferred language is English. I'm going to continue with the installation. I'm going to... Drive C does not appear to be partitioned. We all know that. Yes, I want to partition it. Yes, please reboot now. So this is an old DOS thing. When DOS first booted, the drive wasn't partitioned, so it didn't know about it. Now there is a partition, and it still doesn't know about it. So we need to reset. That hasn't changed over the years. And we didn't finish the install. So this is This is kind of tricky because I can just use FreeDOS in the live environment mode and not know about it. And I can't take the disk out now because if I take the CD out, it won't boot at all. So we still need to do the install. Probably should say something a little bit more about that, but that's what videos are for. Now you can see it. Oh, it made multiple partitions of 2 gigs each, if you saw that during the boot up. My preferred language is still English. Yes, I want to continue with the installation. Yes, please erase and format drive C. Yeah, so disk size is 2051 megabytes, FAT32. Quick formatting, optimized initial root directory size, 4 clusters, quick format complete. Volume serial number. Please select my keyboard layout, US English. Sure. What FreeDOS do I want? Plain DOS system with sources. Full installation include, so it does include source code. Nice. Full installation including applications and games. Full installation with sources. I don't need the source code. Let's just do full installation including apps and games. We're now ready to install FreeDOS 1.3. Does this have mouse support? It does not have mouse support. Do you want to install? Yes, I want to install. Oh, I'm seeing some familiar faces go by. I saw Defrag. Seeing a lot of unfamiliar faces. Fox type. Games Boom. We're gonna have to play Boom. F Mines. I wonder if that's Minesweeper. Free Mines. Free Doom. Nice. Craptor. Nice. NetHack is an old familiar favorite. Q Tetris. It's got a folder full of editors. Nice. To figure out what our favorite... Oh, there's Vim. I have to figure out what our favorite editor is. Why is Vim taking so long to install? Clam. That's probably antivirus. Sound M player. Ooh, command line music player. System installation is completed. Transferring boot. So that would be the sysc drive. What can we do? We can reboot. I'm going to remove the CD before I do that. Remove disk from virtual drive. And then, yes, please reboot. Right, there's a couple of choices here, and it wants to default to using expanded memory. So we can load FreeDOS with Gem X, which is no EMS, most UMBs, max RAM free. We can load it with Gem 386 expanded memory. We can load FreeDOS low with some drivers in safe mode. We can load FreeDOS without drivers in emergency mode. So let's pick the default. Fast A20 method used. All right, so it's got some DOS in upper memory. It's got the HiMem driver. It's got the command processor. Command.com still exists. So some of that is in conventional, some of it's in upper. So 2/3 in conventional, 1/3 in upper. FDAPM, that sounds like FreeDOS Advanced Power Management. SHSUCDX sounds like the CD-ROM extensions. QT Mouse UDVD2. UDVD2 sounds like the CD-ROM driver. And an assigned drive G. Done processing startup files fdconfig sys and fdauto.bat. Type help to get support on commands and navigation. Welcome to FreeDOS, and it's at freedos.org. So let's type help. And oh, the mouse works. Apropos. What is apropos? Displays descriptions of programs based on the app info files. Use what is with a program name to get a one-line description of the program. Oh, that'll come in handy. That was just a complete accident that I found that one first. Press escape a couple of times. Have a nice day. Okay. So we've got command com. FreeCom version 0.84. It uses Watcom C. Nice. We'll get back out of the subshell. See what's in fdauto.bat. That scrolled off the screen. Let's try edit. Oh, this is long. Jeez. The mouse is a little sensitive. About edit, about D flat plus. FreeDOS edit 0.9a, GNU GPL. Well, now you know it's the GNU license based on FreeDOS D flat plus. FreeDOS edit is a clone of MS-DOS editor for the FreeDOS project. All right, let's do help about D flat plus. So D flat plus is an application framework, which is probably what's used to create all the dialog boxes and stuff. All right. DOSDER is C:\FDOS, language English, time zone UTC. Path is DOSDER bin, so C:\FDOS/bin. LS path, help path, temp. Sound Blaster support. Dir command. So there's default switches for running the directory command. Copy command is don't ask questions. OS name FreeDOS, OS version, auto file. The auto file tells DOS what the autoexec bat was that it already used to boot itself to tell itself what it was. I'm sure there's a better reason for it than that. Config, edit config file, auto, edit auto file. Nice. So there's some aliases in there. Shut down. Okay. So it should be able to turn itself off using the advanced power management. If not exist, vinfo, go to only 8086. vinfo/m. What does vinfo do? Ah. There it is. I'm pushing Mac keys on a DOS machine. What is vinfo? Isn't that what it was? Apropos. Yeah, what is? Use what is command with a program name. Okay, let's go back up and let's do vinfo. I was lied to. There's no info on vinfo. Is more a thing? More is a thing. General system information utility. Verbose mode, test drive status. Return machine type. Nice. So it just returns it all in exit codes. Okay, yep. So I'd have to set up a batch file in order to get the error level back out. But we'll go back to editing the fdauto.bat to see what's going on in here. Oh, that's right. I could have just typed auto, if I spell it right. Hey, look at that. Aliases work. Only 86, mem/c/n. Support 286, load high power management, load the cute mouse driver, show memory, if config == 4. Where do we have config? DOSDER. If %config % == 2, go to end. If it =3, go to end. If it =4, go to end. We're not setting config. Interesting. I wonder where that's coming from. Load high the memory support. If you're running a 386, don't run share. Oh, support for long file names. LFN, long file names. And then the rest of that stuff's commented out. And then the mouse driver. And the CD-ROM driver. Deassist, welcome back. No network. Okay. Pretty neat. Can I see what the aliases are? I can. All right, CFG, config sys, set doster. So we're setting environment variables in config sys now. Works. I guess the bang means to, it's a comment? Or is it just silently doing it? I think it's going to silently do it. All right, so we set the country, set the last drive, set the buffers, set the amount of files, set the menu colors, menu default 2, wait 5 seconds, which it did. It did default to 2, and I stopped it from timing out. Oh, that's neat. So you can have multiple things. So if I pick 2, 3, or 4, it'll load HiMemX. If I pick 1, 2, it'll load DOS High, DOS UMB, DOS Data. If I pick 1, it'll load the GemX driver with no EMS. 2, 3, 4 would be HiMem. 2 is loading the, yep, that makes perfect sense. It's kind of a wonky syntax to my eyes, but it makes perfect sense, and I could easily copy this and continue to move on. And then we do shell high, command com, an environment size of 1024, and then we process the autoexec bat file equivalent. All right, excellent. dir/w works. dir works. Forgot the question mark. Does it do colorized directories? Display a 4-digit year, use lowercase, use bare format, no heading information, displays files in specified directory, sort order, attributes, wide. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. All right, so there were a couple of other drives. Did we get those formatted? We did not. No drive H. Okay, so it took my 8 gigabyte hard disk and split it into 4 2 gigabyte partitions, and it only formatted the C drive, which is perfectly fine. But that does tell us that it's aware that there's some limitations in the OS. Let's see, fdisk. Oh, I'm still on the wrong drive. Do you want to use large disk support? Sure. Display partition information. We have an extended. Yes, I want to see what's in the extended partition. Excellent, and they're all FAT32. Let's delete D, E, and F since they're empty. Delete partition or logical drive. Delete logical drives in the extended partition. What drive do you want to delete? D? Yes. Delete partition or logical drive. Delete D. Yes. Delete D. Yes. No logical drives. And we want to create a logical partition. We want to create logical drives in the extended partition. And I want to enter it in megabytes or percent. 6150 is the maximum space, which is 100%, so we will accept that. And it made it no problem. I wonder why it decided to do what it did. Display partition information. Yes, I want to show the extended. And there it is. All right, escape, escape. You must restart your system. Escape. So there were some aliases for that. Let's do reboot, which is fdapm warm boot. All right, so we are back now. And the CD-ROM drive is at drive E, which is empty. And then the D drive is still empty. Oops, not bind, bin. What do we got? Interesting. That was running very slow. I'm looking for a format command, and I want to make sure that there isn't anything special here. Box type. See, there's format. Why did that not work before? Ah, that's why. Form. Format. So it's going to be text-based only, it looks like. What I'm seeing is this is extremely advanced. Lots and lots of stuff here. Whiptail. Whiptail.exe. What is Whiptail? I can't wait. Gotta do it now. That didn't work. No. Huh. There's no way to see that. And I don't have a page up key. And no mouse wheel support. So I have no idea what this is because it scrolls off the screen. One file removed. Nice. It spelled out one. All right, so let's keep on keeping on. Format, D:, quick. Because I'm not going to make you guys sit through a 6 GB format. Yeah, I tried and I missed a letter. Give me a break. Can I find existing format not saving on format data? That's correct. Disk not yet formatted. That's correct. 6 GB drive. Because you got to give it a name. 4K allocation units. Okay. So it formatted it. This is stuff I would have done in DOS. Let's see if it just translates right over. One of those switches is invalid. ESEVY. Okay. It was not happy with some part of that syntax, and I don't know which part it wasn't happy with. But right now I'm just testing to see if we can actually write files to disk. It looks like we can. FAT32 not currently supported. No scan disk. We'll come across that in a bit. I'm sure there's something in there. All right. Apps, Blosec, FDOS, games. Is it Blosec? Net, PGME, util, kernel.sys. All right, let's start at the very beginning. Since we were kind of all over the map there. I was just having fun. DOS mid, 80 play, 80 play, 80 play. No OPL2 detected. I guess that's like ad-lib play, since it's talking about OPL2. Is add plugs MS-DOS based front end supporting an exclusively programmed text mode interface. It provides a convenient playback experience. No emulated playback is supported. Okay. Unique file replayers for each supported format in order to achieve the best possible replay quality. The tracker. So it'll play a whole bunch of music file formats. Excellent. We're going to have to try this out on real hardware next. CDP? What is CDP? I'm going to need it in English. I don't speak German. He says, translating a German word to English and saying it out loud. So what is CDP? Cannot open CD-ROM driver. Well, of course not, because it's not called MSCD001. So there's already a DOS key-like feature built in and enabled by default. I guess that's where the aliases came from. CDP inst. I spelled it backwards. CDP CD-ROM driver. Found the following possible driver. CDP installer. CDP inst d:/fd cd 0001 u:0. I'm just filling in information for the switches from what it told me on the screen. I don't know about auto unlock. Destination path is c:/cd test. It appears to be doing something. Nope. Let's reset that. It appears to have locked up. So CDP appears to have something to do with the CD-ROM drive. Did it make the folder? And ejecting or retracting the tray, just off the top of my head, off of what I saw there. Audio CD player. So CDP is CD player. Okay. I hit that again wrong. Cancel. So there's another tool that we could use with real hardware. I don't know. I don't have any older machines with real CD-ROM drives in them here. So if the directory runs off the screen, it automatically pauses itself. And that's probably that dir command. Yeah, dir command /p/ogn/y. What is OG? O is order. G is group directories first, my favorite, and N is by name. So that makes sense. All right, so this is DN. Let's just run it. DN. DOS Navigator. Oh, this is awesome. I was actually looking for this. DOS Navigator. DN2 is based on DOS Navigator. This product is freeware. This looks a lot like Norton Commander. Oh, this is excellent. Colors is a folder. Dark. It's got dark mode. Where do we go for Does it have working mouse support? It has working mouse support. Go into options, configuration. It's got a built-in screensaver. Interface. Clock, yep. Options. Colors. It should be under configuration. VGA palette, nice. Where do I load existing color selections from? Load palette. Straylock, Monovax, Norton, black and white, dark. Ah, okay. That wasn't the dark mode I was thinking it was going to be. Jaroslaw. That's where we were by default. Norton, that's what I expected. Vax, nice. Straylock. Oh, Straylock's nice too. I was happy with the Jaroslaw. All right, excellent. So that's what DN is. DN is a Norton Commander clone, which is based off of DOS Navigator. So this comes with some pretty handy apps installed. DOS Hex Ed. I would assume that's a DOS Hex editor. Hex Ed. Use a file in hexadecimal. Hex Ed. And the logical choice would be to view itself. Hex ed.exe. Edit, find, jump. Yep. Get out of there. Digitalatol.com. Not an island, an atoll. DOS mid. I would assume this would be a MIDI player for DOS. Provide a path to a MIDI file or a playlist to play. I don't have any handy right now. E3. What is E3? Micro editor. Nice. E3-16. 16-bit. No, I don't want to save. And it looks like it uses the WordStar key bindings, which are key bindings I'm familiar with because my favorite editor on Linux uses WordStar key bindings. So, that's cool. That's my cell phone. Elvis. So I bet Elvis is the Vi clone. Hey, look at that. Vi. Yep. It's not bad. Too many characters. Yes, I know. Okay, so it's got a Vi editor command in there. Emacs. I don't know how to exit Emacs. My shame. It's probably the same keystroke. See, the reason why I don't like Emacs is because I want an editor, not an operating system. Are you ready to build the ed files for 1.6G? Sure. Press any key to exit and then come back in. Man, it's doing a whole bunch of stuff. That was a lot. It says fun on the screen, but this ain't fun because I don't know how to exit it. Told you I didn't know how to exit. Why does it have mouse support? Oh, that's weird. I click in the corner down below, it just starts rotating through, and then I run out of memory. Okay, reset. And this is why I don't use Emacs. This is also the original reason why I didn't use Vi, but I've used Vi enough times that I'm familiar with it. See, when you use my favorite editor on Linux, which is called Joe, it has a little thing at the top that says, press this keystroke for help, and then you can kind of move through the help menus. I know, I'm lazy. I'll just leave it at that. All right, so that was Emacs. What is Fed? I'm going to assume it's another editor. And I'm going to assume it's the free editor. Blue-green config, copying, Alphabet Markdown, Fed. Oh, this looks almost like... Oh, there's menus at the top. I didn't try pressing the Alt key. File. Quit. Not a bad looking editor. Let's go back. I'm asking for trouble, I know. Let's go back into Emacs. Press F1 CD, getting the latest version, F1T, enter MX, edit options, FreeMax. Press F1 for help. C means use the control key. Oh, where was this the last time I started Emacs? A, B, C, F, I, K, L, M, N, S, T, V, W, C, D, N, W. Okay, so there's help. So I didn't get that the last time. Anyway, it's actually faster on this machine just to reboot it than it is to try and read all of the help and figure out where the exit command is. MB edit, which would be another editor, I bet. Command F1 for help. EGA 8025. MB, Michael Braun. So it's Michael Braun's editor. Excellent. And I remember getting Shareware of the Month discs, Shareware of the Month Club discs, and inside the Shareware of the Month Club discs, you would occasionally find an editor, and then you found one that you fell in love with and memorized all its keystrokes, and you were ruined for all editors from that point forward. So for me, that was QEdit Advanced for DOS, which was made by a company called Semware. And Semware had the same initials that I did, which is one of the reasons I liked it. And I'm not seeing an exit command here. Q, E. Okay, so it's kind of Vi-like. Are you guys still yelling at me about how to exit Emacs? Because you should move on. Because I did. Mind D. No file. Recover file, edit, save and exit, switch file, close file. Justify clever. This might be a programmer's editor or it might be a word processor. Hard to tell. No, I don't want to save it. MinEd. Powerful text editor, comprehensive, easy to use, user interface, fast, small footprint behavior. Excellent. There's a bunch of editors. OpenCP. CP. CP-H. Sorry, this program needs DOS 4GW to run. Why don't we have DOS 4GW? See if DN can give me the ability to find on disk the DOS 4GW file. Find. entire disk. Okay. No files found. Okay, so DOS4 GW is not here. And this thing shipped with a program that required DOS4 GW. DOS4 GW was a way to use more memory on 386 and above machines. So DA post, there's a bunch of GIF files. Open Cubic Player, Sound Driver System, DirectX. When you say Cubic Player, I'm thinking it is going to be music again. OSP edit. Looks like another editor. Oh, this reminds me of the TurboVision. Borland C++. That's why it reminds me of TurboVision, because TurboVision came with Borland C++. Excellent. It's the OS Plus text editor, and it is open source, so yet another text editor. But it's not giving me text files to open. Every one of these files has had a readme.txt. Every one of these folders has had a readme.txt file in it. Plugs list has been moved. Okay. It's a DOS version. What is this DJGPP? Text files. File. Open. Hey, there we go. Bunch of different versions of this. Page vault. Didn't like that. Open source text editor. Thanks for downloading the DJGPP version of text editor. This has evolved a fair bit since it was closed source and now includes features, sound support, and file format conversion. It can play WAV files and MIDI files. Very interesting. I would not expect my text editor to be able to play sound files. I have emotions about that. All right, what do we got? Set edit. I bet it's another editor. Set edit. That's sets editor. Okay. Looks like another TurboVision project. When you press tab in the editor, it normally doesn't insert a tab character, but you can configure this. Okay, good. I'm so used to mouse wheel, I tried to mouse wheel scroll the DOS text box. That's not a thing. Open. TC edit, ASCII 0 values. Okay. UHEX. Small and fast multi-platform hex editor. uhex uhex.exe uhex.com. All right, uhex.com. uhex.com. That's better than the last one. Oh, Alt H for help. Oh, that's hang on. I just lost everything. So what I did was I pushed Command H, which hides the window, instead of Alt H. Find, quit, nice. So hex editor, Vim. So now we have Elvis and Vim. Auto load colors. This might be the real Vim. Vim tutor, nice. Vim. Yep, buy improved. This would be the one. And it's got mouse support too. Ooh. Nice. Escape, colon, Q. I don't know why I did capitals. Q bang. Exit. So that's the apps folder. We've got Blosec, FDOS, Games, Net, PGME, Util, and this video has gone on long enough, so be sure to subscribe to the channel to see the next installment of this one here. Otherwise, there is a video right over there. I gotta see which direction the camera is. Right over there that I think you might find interesting. Thanks for being awesome.